Now at 10, authorities make an arrest in Arkansas in connection with a shooting death at this Pittsburgh bar. Plus, the Joplin Fire Department trains with some new high-tech equipment. And a Joplin Community Foundation spreads the season cheer with 14 nonprofit organizations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin hosted a public meeting this evening to discuss proposed changes to the city's downtown historic design guidelines. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Fernandez Silva attended that meeting and has details.
Downtown is a neighborhood. We have people living in the second, third, fourth floors of many of these buildings. We want to make sure that the property owners can continue to market those apartments, that we don't create such a great amount of light that people don't enjoy living in downtown anymore.
Neon signs were the focus of the public meeting to discuss proposed changes to Joplin's downtown historic design guidelines. According to the Joplin city planner, neon signs are currently prohibited in the downtown area. Then you might wonder, but there's some already downtown. Here is what they have to say. Due to a bureaucratic error, we have one neon sign in downtown. We have one other illuminated sign that was actually there for quite some time. It was grandfathered in.
That's the reality. Is sometimes things get built without necessarily getting reviewed by the historic review standards.
Now the city wants to make sure some reasonable limitations are put on neon signs. The goal of the meeting was to gather feedback on whether changes in these standards should be made so that neon signs are permitted. For Bill Fisher, a Joplin Historic Preservation Commission member, it is important to respect historic standards while being open to change.
I don't think a Historic Preservation Commission should try to keep things frozen in the past in a sort of unchanging fashion. And so I think it's important that occasionally we have meetings like this where we can update and change some of the standards that we've been using.
For people like Josh Young, graphics manager at Sign Brothers, whose work can be impacted by the changes, the meeting was also a chance to come up with solutions for problems people might point out.
One of the things that I noted was that with light output, if they're worried about light output, then limiting how high the neon sign is kind of counterproductive because the higher up the neon sign is, the more the light dissipates before it gets to the viewing area.
In Joplin, Fernandez Silva, KOAM News.
Now, besides Joplin Historic Preservation Commission members, city staff and sign companies and other local businesses were part of the conversation. They expect to progress in the conversation and have a definition in February. A suspect is in custody tonight in connection with a shooting death at a Jimmy B saloon in Pittsburgh back in August. Around 3 this afternoon, U.S. Marshals arrested 33-year-old Jamon Allen in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He was wanted on a felony warrant for first-degree murder for the August 20th shooting death of Justin Krogan. Happened outside Jimmy B's saloon at 202 Locust in Pittsburgh. Officers arrived on the scene to find Krogan, who had been shot. Krogan later died from his injuries. An Afton, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to voluntary manslaughter in the death of an infant. Today in federal court, Samson Fry pleaded guilty in the shaking death of his own infant son more than 5 years ago. Fry admitted to shaking and dropping the baby, who fell to the ground in November of 2018. The child later died at the hospital. Fry will be sentenced at a later date. Temps not bad out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
No, it actually turned out to be a really nice one for us today. Temperatures right around 60, 61 was our actual high. It was a cold start at 29, but look at our average is 49 degrees. So good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. It would be nice to get some rain. We didn't get much in October, November, or so far in the month of December. All right, looking outside, Joplin looks good, 42 in Pittsburgh. It is dry. We do have a lot of clouds, but we're going to stay dry tonight. Temperatures eventually will drop back into the upper 30s, but not as cold as what we had last night. A lot of clouds, rain increasing out to the west. That's our next storm system. We're going to stay dry tonight. We'll back down to about 37 degrees. Temperatures look great the next few days, but we'll look at those rain chances here in just a little bit.
See you soon. A former Missouri state lawmaker is running for lieutenant governor of the Show Me State. And he made the announcement today in Joplin, among other places. Bob Under served in the Missouri State House for 2 years, then in the state Senate from 2015 to this year. He says if elected, he'll promote conservative values.
Fight to protect innocent human life, to give women the opportunity to choose life for their unborn children, to protect Second Amendment rights, to improve Missouri education so parents can choose the educational option that's best for their kids, so the kids can learn reading and writing and arithmetic and America's true history, not woke ideology.
Under will compete with former Missouri House Leader Dean Plotcher, State Senator Holly Redder, Franklin County Clerk Tim Baker, and St. Louis businessman Paul Berry III for the Republican nomination. Joplin Fire Department today trained on some brand new equipment. The JFD trained on new low-pressure, high-volume firehouse technology. This new tech will allow the JFD to put more water readily on a fire and reduce fatigue on the equipment and on the firefighters. The department training chief says that training is going to make using the new technology easier to use when the time comes.
Seeing the new hose also has some different characteristics as far as the way it loads and the way it pulls, and we kind of take for granted because we've been using the same traditional stuff for my entire career and most of everybody else's here. With a little bit of a different load and a different pull, we want to make sure that everybody is proficient in getting the hose advanced to the structure, that we're proficient in how that needs to be properly loaded.
Joplin Fire Department hopes to have that new technology on the trucks by early spring. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure your holiday travels go scam-free. The BBB has some tips on how to protect you and your family during your holiday travels. First, be prepared for cancellations and delays, and know the signs of a cancellation scam. Be aware of any advisories or concerns if you plan on traveling internationally, and know how to spot a fake front desk scam and make sure you use Wi-Fi safely. Go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for more travel safety suggestions from the BBB. The Kiwanis Club in Joplin is continuing the tradition of hosting a luncheon for school elementary kids. 198 kids at Jefferson Elementary School in Joplin received pizza, candy, and winter garments.
We've done this now for probably 10, 15 years. We pick schools out in the Joplin School District, come give a Christmas party over lunch. We have pizza, cookies, soda for the kids, and then Santa comes.
Next Tuesday, the Kiwanis Club will host a luncheon at McKinley Elementary. The Joplin Regional Community Foundation announced some big donation numbers for a number of nonprofits. The foundation announced a total of $25,000 in grants to 14 nonprofits through its latest community grant round today. The grants, supported by the Dwayne and Edith Llewellyn Legacy Fund and the Cloyd Carlin Charitable Fund, were presented during an event at the Joplin Chamber of Commerce.
That's why I love this job. You know, we're helping people, and I think it's nice that we do this around Christmas time. Towards the end of the year, I think it really does make a difference in the end of the year budgets for a lot of these nonprofits.
The Joplin Regional Community Foundation was founded in 2006. Later in sports, the Tom Anthony era begins at PSU with his first hire. John's going to tell us more about the head coach's first move. First, we take you behind the scenes of a Toy Box campaign shopping spree. This evening, we wrapped up our final Toy Box Tuesday telethon for 2023. Bishop and Hayes is one of our longtime partners, and they helped answer the phones for us tonight. They also went on a shopping spree with your donations to buy toys. We sent photojournalist Ty Parks along for the ride.
We really love the KOAM Toy Box because we love to support our local community, and this is an activity that does just that. The toys and the things that are bought for the kids stay right here in the local area, and that's something that means a lot to us and something we want to support. I think giving back is an important part of being a community. In the community, we need to take care of one another. That's why it's important for us to be involved in something like KOAM Toy Box, which benefits the local community. I mean, there's a lot of great ministries and charities across the nation, But what we want to do is focus on ones that take care of people right here in the 4 states.
Our thanks to all of our partner volunteers who helped make the Toy Box Project a success. This sort of effort takes a full team. A group of 5th grade students on the Student Council at Soaring Heights Elementary School in Joplin also joined our very own Chris Warner to pick out some toys. The principal of Soaring Heights says it provides a good lesson for the students. The fact that our telethon is over doesn't mean the giving has to stop. You can always give to our Toy Box campaign. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Erie Federated Church has been giving back to their community for more than 2 decades by making Christmas baskets for kids and families in Erie. This year was no different, and some of what they gave is provided through the Toy Box campaign. KOAM's Elise Noe visited with volunteers at the church as they prepared for their distribution day.
Some of Santa's helpers set up shop in Erie, Kansas this Christmas season. Erie's elves and angels come together every year at the Erie Federated Church to make Christmas baskets filled with clothes and toys. They also help feed families with a food donation for a holiday meal.
We have, this year we're serving 75 families. It has been as low as 50 families, as high as 80 or 85 families.
The Erie Elves and Angels spend the week before their distribution date shopping for clothing, wrapping toys, and gathering food. Lori Zickenbein has been coordinating this program for 18 years. It's a task that comes with challenges, but also countless uplifting moments.
And so have really seen the program grow and meet the needs in the community. The opportunity to reach out to the community. You always assume everybody kind of lives your same lifestyle, and as you reach out into the community and you see some of the challenges that these kids and that these families are facing.
Each year, Zickenbein sees the impact it has on not only the families, but to the group of volunteers as well.
Often the people who do the shopping, the elves and angels as we call them, who do the shopping and who make the deliveries, often receive more emotionally, spiritually, mentally than the recipients.
In Erie, Kansas, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
27 elves and angels helped hand out the Christmas baskets at the church's distribution day this past weekend to help make Christmas brighter for families. A little bit later, Chinook takes on Girard in boys and girls basketball. John's going to have details for us coming up in sports.
Plus, our temperatures stay mild over the next few days, but we're going to look at our rain chances coming up next.
You can depend.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a decent one for us today. Temperatures not bad, right around 60, 61 degrees, a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. It looks good right now. Here's a nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We do have a lot of clouds. We're going to see a lot of clouds tonight into the next couple days, but there's not much underneath them. So just kind of socked in with the clouds, and this is the beginnings of our next wave. It has some light little snow showers in northern parts of Missouri. The main wave centered out here, getting some rain out through parts of the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, but the upper level wave right between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. Now, the problem here is this is what we call cutoff low. I want you to look where the jet stream is. It goes way up into Canada and then dips down into the Great Lakes. All of our storm systems, they like to hang out right around that jet stream. So when one gets off that track, it's what we call cutoff low. It's cut off from the main flow of the jet. So there's nothing to really push it off toward the east. So what it's going to do is slowly meander its way toward us over the next 3 days or so. It's eventually going to make it here. We'll start to get some showers in here late in the day on Friday. Secondary wave drops in Saturday. This cools us down, gives us the cold rain, and then eventually this starts to exit by Sunday. Also notice the ridge comes right in behind it, meaning the first half of next week also is looking pretty good. All right, showers start to push in. Friday evening, here's 11:30 p.m. Bands of light rain through the day on Saturday. You can even see a few little flakes of snow trying to mix in. Light showers into Sunday morning, then finally this system exits out of the area. Rainfall with it, it's not going to be super heavy, but we need whatever we can get. A lot of areas will pick up a quarter, half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Now, until that gets here, we stay dry. Temps sitting lower 40s outside as we go through the overnight hours, 37 by 7, back to 48 by 10. We are going to have those clouds tomorrow. We're going to have those clouds on Thursday as well, but we will stay dry. Mid-30s to start tomorrow. We get into the mid-50s by noon, and I think most of us, maybe a notch or two cooler than what we saw today just due to the cloud cover, but I think most of us 58, 59, 60 degrees for an afternoon high. Tomorrow night, kind of stick with the clouds, partly cloudy skies. On Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, but you can start to see that rain starts to advance in, getting a little bit closer to us, trying to skirt our western counties by the time we get into Friday morning. A day planner on your Wednesday, 37 in the morning, 54 by noon, 58 by 4. High temp at 59. We'll do 59 again on Thursday, 58 on Friday. Cooler Saturday, a high of only 50, 46 on Sunday, but we start next week looking pretty good before rain chances move back in right before Christmas, a big storm system.
No one's dreaming of a soggy Christmas time.
Maybe we'll get some white out of it. We'll see.
Really? We need some precipitation.
Yes, we do.
That's for sure. Thanks, Doug. Stella had highlights from tonight's basketball doubleheader between Chanute and Girard. Plus, Pitt State hires a face very familiar to the Four States football scene. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
The holidays, food.
Pitt State football's new head coach Tom Anthony announces one of his first hires, and it's a former Gorilla who's had a ton of success coaching at the high school level right here in the Four States. Mark Smith, who has been the head coach of Frontenac for the past 12 seasons, is the new wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator at PSU. In his tenure with Frontenac, the Raiders have gone 94-38, including 2 trips to the state title game in 2017 and 2021, and 8 appearances in the state quarterfinals. Smith was Pitt State's starting quarterback for 2 seasons in 2007 and 2008. He was a 2-time honorable mention All-American and passed for 40 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards. Over to Kansas high school basketball, Chanute boys and girls hoops heading on the road to Girard this evening. Girard girls basketball at home looking for its second consecutive win, taking on Chanute. Late in the first quarter, Hayden Buckley pulls the trigger from 3 and connects. That ties the game at 12. Same score, second quarter, until Chikira Walls hits this 3 from the top of the key. That puts Chanute on top by 3. Right before the half now, Girard with some momentum. This'll further that momentum. Kennedy Keller, she's just a freshman, but attacking the basket with confidence, gets fouled and scores. Trojans up by 5 at the break. Third quarter now, Keller passes to fellow freshman Marley Sisney, who sidesteps a defender, gets the easy 2. Trojan lead up to 10. In the fourth, Maddie Kester finds Erica Boatman all alone beneath the basket. That puts this one away. Trojans use that momentum from the second quarter and never let up. They win 57-43. Girard boys basketball unbeaten, 3-0 on the young season. Chanute's 2-0 entering tonight's road game. First points of the night belong to the Trojans. Aiden Troike goes backdoor finishes after a pump fake. Chanute, though, responds immediately. Rhett Smith says, if you're going to leave me this wide open, I'm going to take it and make it. Blue Comets up by 1. Later in the first, Lars Kester left open from 3. He nails it as well. Chanute on an 8-0 scoring run to take a 6-point lead. Then Kester with the steal turns defense into offense the other way. Elliot Stevenson scores the layup. And if that wasn't good enough for you, how about another steal from Kester and another finish from Stevenson? Blue Comets take an 11-point lead. They're on a 13-0 scoring run. Second quarter, more of the same. High-low action, Kester to Chris Harding, down to Stevenson again. Chanute doesn't let up. The Blue Comets with an impressive road win, 49-37, the final score. And this afternoon, the D2 Women's Basketball Coaches Poll released. The Gorillas still on the outside looking in, not yet in the top 25. We'll put the results on your screen in a moment. This coinciding with Pitt State's Grace Pyle receiving D2 Player of the Week honors after she was named MIAA Player of the Week yesterday. Only two MIAA teams in the top 25. Central Missouri, number 3 team in the country. Fort Hays State is 21. The Gorillas play UCM on the road in their next game Saturday. PSU receiving votes, but only 6 of them. That's a drop from last week where it had 7 votes out of the 23 coaches that make up the committee. Kind of hard to break into that top 25, but I'll tell you what, if they can get a win against number 3 Central Missouri on the road this week, they're going to be in good shape.
It's not so much where they place you in the polling early on, it's where you finish the season.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
Light up the season during the make.
If you're thinking weather-wise, boy, it sure doesn't feel like mid-December. You are correct. It's unusually warm out there, Doug.
High temps right around 60 degrees. Over the next 3 days, a lot of clouds. Rain chances increasing by Friday evening.
Final sports notes.
McDonald County girls basketball wins in overtime tonight. It will play in the championship round of its own tournament tomorrow.
Wish them well. We're going to leave you tonight with a look at some Christmas lights from around Joplin. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM News.